Retention in the workplace is a problem, and it's not going away. Don't let retention or a labor crisis derail your company's train to success. You know, there's no Band-Aid solutions. Make no bones about it. But if you're progressive in your approach and you have a strategy, you too can solve the labor issues that we're facing today. But it's simple. You just got to deal with it. I'm industry expert Paul Burleson, and I've spent the past 30 years training the top sales organizations in North America. In the next 10 minutes, set your clock, get your pen out. We're going to give you solutions to deal with the problems today that face us in today's labor crisis. You know, we got to deal with it because the great resignation is here. People are quitting their jobs more today than they have ever in our history in the past 3 decades. Why? Why is that? Well, COVID changed so much about the way people work and most importantly about the way they think. People now had the chance to be at home and to now see a different quality of life, to experience things different from working from home than being in the office. But the big problem is they now feel that separation from the company as if they don't belong. They feel like they have more of a mental health capability than they had before. They feel more in control because they feel like they have a better quality of life. So what can you do in your organization to create that quality of life, to have people want to be at work as much as they wanted to be at home? You know, it's the tale of two cities. It was the best of times and it was the worst of times. Why? Well, it's pretty simple. It was the best of times because it was one of the busiest years in our decade. Busiest years. We were printing money. Canvassing rates were at the highest time when people said, no, you can't go in people's homes. Guess what? People wanted you in their homes, right? We were selling everything that we could get, but the problem was we couldn't get everything. We had industry-wide material shortages. We had storms that were creating problems for us. COVID changed our society and the way people worked, right? And the way that they wanted to work, as I just explained. Hiring, keeping employees was a problem, but we also moved to a virtual world, starting to transition from a physical world. So it was the best, worst year that we've ever had. But we learned a lot from that, and now we have to move forward with a progressive plan to solve the problems ahead of us. The retention challenge. You know, COVID has changed people's views on employment, and workers now have a lot of options. If you aren't a great company, they won't come and they won't stay. So we have to deal with it. But here's my question. If you're hiring salespeople, do you have experience in sales? If you're hiring installers, installation companies, have you ever installed before? You know, people tell me every day, Paul, I hired a great salesperson. Well, what makes him great? Well, he could talk good. He said he was good at his last company, but does it actually make him good? It's not enough to walk a mile in your potential employee's shoes. You got to run a marathon with them. You got to understand, and they got to believe that you understand what they do. And most importantly, they have to respect you, and they have to understand that you're giving them the best guidance to be the best they can be. It's so expensive to replace employees. You know, as you can see here, I mean, it can cost up to 200% of what an employee's average salary is just to replace them. So I ask you, would it make sense maybe to even have a retention manager, someone who could focus on talking to the employee through the process instead of sitting at the end and having an exit interview with the employee and trying to figure out why they leave? Don't talk to them while they're leaving. Talk to them while they're staying. What's important to them? How can you make them become part of the process? How can they enjoy being part of your team? Because everybody is motivated differently today than they were when I was in the workforce or when you was in the workforce, because their belief system is different. The belief system of the person or the company needs to match the belief system of the person they're hiring. Whatever that is, if they don't feel like they belong or if they don't like it, they're not going to be there. The workforce is changing. As you can see, the baby boomer is slowly declining and the millennial is increasing. That means their needs are changing. They're changing rapidly. So you can't have 30 years the same 1 year's experience. You have to change your approach to match the people who you're trying to recruit and the people you're trying to hire. And you got to understand what motivates people. You know, happiness and and enjoyment in the workplace, you can see in the first two columns, 37% people have to like where they're at. They have to like the culture. They have to feel like they belong. They have to feel like they really find something about that organization that makes them want to stay. But you know, there's 5 different classifications. When you look at traditional, the baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Ys, or Gen Zs, you look at all of them, not everybody's motivated from the same thing. You can't teach and train everybody the same way because not everybody's going to respond the same way. So it's up to you as an organization to set back, to look at things, to look at the people you're trying to recruit and create that culture. Empowerment teams is one of the most powerful ways that you can grow your organization. I train for one of the top sales organizations in the country, and they go and they encourage their younger generation of employees to recruit and bring in their friends, bring in their fraternity brothers, bring in people that they know, because they want that cohesive team where those people won't let the other person down. Try that. Create something different. Don't do what you did yesterday. Do something different to make a difference. So a recipe for success is pretty simple. You got to create a contagious culture. You've got to create something. You've got to have a system in place. You've got to have something that is going to draw the person who you're trying to recruit to want to be part of your team and to want to be part of your organization. And you develop that system. You do things with consistency. You make it fun. You make it want to be something that they want to be a part of. And once you do that, and they get excited about that culture, and they get excited about your company, then you're going to get the results that you're looking for. So look at your pay, look at your benefit structures, look at things that you can create to motivate these individuals. Find ways, because some people may not be motivated by money, but some people are. Some people may be motivated by all these things encompassed together, but you got to find a way to encompass that in your approach. And you also have to increase a discussion, encouragement, feedback. You got to provide opportunities for training, for growth. You got to invest in those people. They got to feel like they have an opportunity to go somewhere in your organization. They have a chance to share part of that vision, that they do belong, that they do matter, and they do have the ability to impact change. But only you as a manager, and it doesn't matter if you're in the roofing business, siding business, window business, gutter business, screen business, solar business, it doesn't matter. You're still going to have the same issues, but you got a chance to change that if you'll follow this recipe for success. You know, and the end result is happy, productive employees are profitable for your company. Again, there's no Band-Aid solution. An ace bandage wouldn't fix it if I had one, but the problem is we have to change the way we approach the market today, because retention isn't going away. People's needs are changing, their needs are changing. Your structure and how you run your organization needs to change. Now, we can help you. Royal Building Products, like I said, I've spent the last 30 years of my career helping organizations. We can help you create systems, or if you're interested in creating an insulated siding system to add to your organization, we can help you with that as well. You can make the change. Retention's not going away. It's here to stay. But if you follow some of the solutions we provided today, you too can kick the problems with retention.